Greetings YouTube, this is Toy Customizer Wakeangel 2001, bringing you a review of one of Jazzware's first original Sonic molds. The 5-inch Sonic figure, specifically the Black Knight variant. Let's see, what can I say? Well, when Jazzwares took over the toy line, they had the license to use all of the molds from Toy Island, apparently. Because when I saw promotional pictures on websites like ToysRUs.com, they had pictures of the Toy Island Sonic molds for the 5-inch. But when you would actually go to the stores and see what was in packages, you'd actually see a new mold, which was this guy. At the time, he was released in two forms. There was the regular one that had two regular gloves, and then this guy. This is specifically the Toys R Us exclusive that was released at the same time as the Sonic and the Black Knight game. And I decided to keep it in packaging because I rather like this packaging. I like how there's a picture of the castle from the game up in the corner, and the art on the card is actually really nice. Turning it around, you see the back of the blister card has a really nice picture of Sonic posing with Caliburn and that same castle. Like I said, a really nice blister card. Though nice as the blister may be, it's just that. It's a blister card. So let's open it up and get at the sweet, sweet goodness inside. Oh, by the way, behind the blister, just the wall. Although that spiral shape is later the shape that they would adopt for their stands. The contents of the blister pack reveal nothing less than a 5-inch Sonic figure. I remember at the time this was compared to a mini superposer. Although there are some points of articulation that it does not have, that the superposer does. Those include the spines, which in this case are quite solid, the ears, which are also solid, and the lack of a waist joint. Other than that, he pretty much has all the superposer's articulation. He has a neck, he has elbows, universal shoulders, nice wrists, ankles, hips, you know, all that good stuff. It's worth saying that later releases of this exact mold, like the Sonic Colors variant, which came with a couple of Wisp figures, actually, since it's the same mold, I'm not going to cover it, so you know what, let me go and get my Wisps, since I'm probably not going to get a chance to talk about them later. So, as I said, this figure came re-released with Wisps. This is the White Wisp. It's not the White Wisp, which was, what was his name? You know, the one that had the little curly hair on top. Yacker. It's not Yacker. It's just a random white wisp because it has no hair. And it has one point of articulation. The tentacles swivel. Seems rather pointless, but okay. And that's the size next to Sonic. The Colors variant also came with a red wisp, with its 3 eyes, and this one has no articulation. It's just a standee, and it's kind of cute. No problem with that. And it is worth saying that on the Colors re-release, the spines were made hollow. I know because I cut them off to make a Silver Sonic Mark III for Sonic's 20th anniversary, But on this version of the figure, the spines are quite solid, which makes it quite back heavy. That's probably what Jazzwares did. They got complaints about the figure being back heavy, so when they made the figures again, they made the spines hollow. In the future, when I get to the 5-inch figures that they sell now, you'll see that the heads are completely hollow, but we'll get to that when we get to that. The only real flaws I can note on the character's sculpt is that the nose is upturned just a little bit too much, and the eyes kind of pinch at the bottom. Makes them look a little buggy. Aside from that, it's actually a really nice looking Sonic, and the sculpted detail and everything, including the metal gauntlet, is really, really quite nice. Let's see if we can zoom in on this gauntlet here. See, it's made to look like it's a plate mail armored gauntlet. It has a little painted gem, the ring around the base. It even has little screw holes where the articulations and the plates go. Actually, let me take a high resolution photo of that. So yeah, didn't that gauntlet look really nice? Up next is the sword, Caliburn. It's made out of a soft, flexible plastic. Not quite as soft as Drift's sword, but still anti-poke plastic, you know. This sword is amazingly well detailed as well. I'd say the 3-inch version, ironically, has a slightly more accurate sculpt, but this one has a perfect paint job. Every detail of this thing is captured wonderfully. Caliburn, being my favorite fictitious sword, actually deserves to be quite close up. As you can see, it has that braided pattern, the brown ring painted around, and if you look carefully you can even see the little lines where the eyes would open up have also been sculpted in. As you recall from the video game, this braided piece would slide down and then his eyes would open and he had a little mouth there and he would talk. And when you look at the point of the blade, he has that little design etched in, that little double diamond design. Now that is attention to detail. Okay, so the sword fits wonderfully into Sonic's hand, and he can hold it without any concerns of dropping it. And let's see if I can make him approximate the stance that he's in on the blister pack in the concept art. See, that hand goes back like that. Oh, one flaw again, like with the first superposer, hips designed to go outward. And it's a little bit worse because of the way the body is molded. They're higher up, so it's actually really hard to make them go forward without just making the knee go in the wrong direction. So running poses with this guy are a pain to set up. Okay, so one leg behind. This is really also one of the only ways to get the figure to stand, because you gotta put him nice and wide-legged to support the weight of his spines. And I know my hand and arm must be blocking the screen, but give me a moment. Indulge me, please. I'm gonna get a stage. nice flat cardboard. That's not a bad approximation, right? So yeah, he actually does display quite nicely if you can get him to stand with the amazing back heaviness. This figure, it was one of the first original Jazzwares molds, and it really showed how Jazzwares was committed to making, you know, good Sonic action figures, not just for small children who would play by banging them together, which is why they were made out of such hard plastic and had so few points of articulation, but you know, also for older audiences and collectors who would want characters that can take on poses from promotional art and a lot of useful things. So we'll see in future reviews how Jazzwares would continue to show a lot of attention to detail and dedication to making really good Sonic figures. So this is just the beginning. And I know a lot of people probably make fun of Jazzwares for shoddy products, but you know, in the Sonic line, that just isn't a thing. Hey, this is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2K1, signing out.